Can you imagine a car so ambitious it was destined to redefine the automotive industry? Welcome to the story of the Ford Edsel. In the heart of the 1950s, a time when the world was caught in a whirlwind of innovation and change, Ford Motor Company embarked on an ambitious journey. The vision to create a car that would forever change the way we view the automobile industry. A car that would be more than a vehicle, it would be a statement. Enter the Ford Edsel. This was no ordinary car. The Ford Edsel was a symbol of ambition, a testament to the power of innovation and a beacon of what was possible when creativity and technology came together. Every aspect of the Ford Edsel, from its conception to its design, was imbued with a spirit of daring and a desire to push the boundaries. What set the Ford Edsel apart from its contemporaries were its unique features. The Edsel was designed with style and functionality in mind, boasting a distinctive horse collar grille and scalloped rear lights. But it wasn't just its looks that set it apart. The Edsel was a marvel of technological innovation. One of the most significant features of the Edsel was its self-adjusting brakes. This was a feature that was ahead of its time, a testament to Ford's commitment to innovation and safety. The concept was simple. The brakes would adjust themselves as they wore down, ensuring consistent performance and reducing the need for maintenance. This was a feature that was meant to set the Edsel apart, to make it not just another car, but a symbol of what was possible when you dared to dream. But the Ford Edsel was not just about the car itself, it was about the vision that fueled its creation, the inspiration that drove its design, and the dream that it represented. It was about redefining the boundaries of what was possible, about challenging the status quo, and about daring to dream big. The Ford Edsel was not just a car, it was a vision, a dream, a revolution on four wheels. A car as ambitious as the Ford Edsel deserved an equally ambitious marketing campaign. In the 1950s, Ford Motor Company made a bold move. They poured millions into a marketing effort that was as innovative and daring as the Ford Edsel itself. The car was billed as the car of the future, a beacon of progress in the post-war era. Ford wasn't just selling a car, they were selling a dream. The pre-release hype was something to behold. Ford kept the Edsel shrouded in mystery, building anticipation with carefully planned teasers and advertisements. They dubbed it the E-car, a term that stood for experimental car. This name alone sparked curiosity and interest among the public, creating a buzz that was hard to ignore. Ford's marketing strategies for the Edsel were groundbreaking for their time. They used primetime television, a medium that was just coming into its own, to reach households across America. The campaign was so extensive that it even included a CBS TV special, The Edsel Show, featuring top stars of the day like Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra. Using celebrities of such magnitude not only increased the visibility of the Edsel, but also associated it with a certain level of prestige and glamour. In print, Ford took out full-page spreads in popular magazines, showcasing the sleek design and innovative features of the Edsel. They tantalizingly described it as a car like nothing you've ever seen. This created a sense of excitement and intrigue among potential customers who were eager to see what Ford had been cooking up. The build-up towards the unveiling of the Ford Edsel was a lesson in suspense. Ford carefully orchestrated the reveal, choosing to launch the Edsel on E-Day, September 4th, 1957. The date itself was hyped up, with Ford promising a car that was worth waiting for. The stage was set, the curtains were about to lift, and the Ford Edsel was ready to take the world by storm. The anticipation was palpable. The question on everyone's lips was, would the Ford Edsel live up to the hype? The moment had arrived. The world was about to meet the Ford Edsel. It was the 50s, an era of innovation, change, and bold ideas. Ford, with its ambitious project, was about to introduce a car like no other. As the curtain lifted, the Ford Edsel in all its glory was revealed to the world. A car that was meant to change the automotive landscape forever. The unveiling was met with a wave of anticipation. After all, the Edsel was more than just a car. It was a symbol of progress, of American ingenuity. It was different, it was unique, and it was groundbreaking. People were enthralled by its distinctive features. The horse collar grille, the teletouch push-button transmission system, the self-adjusting brakes. Everything about the Edsel screamed innovation. But as the initial excitement began to fade, the reality began to set in. Consumers were intrigued, yes, but they were also confused. The Edsel, for all its innovation, was a departure from the familiar. It was new, it was different, but was it better? The market was split. Some were captivated by the Edsel's boldness, its willingness to push boundaries. Others were skeptical, unsure of what to make of this new player in the automotive game. The impact was immediate. The Edsel was a talking point, a subject of heated debate. It was a car that refused to be ignored. But the question remained, was the world ready for the Edsel? Had Ford pushed the envelope too far? Only time would tell. As the dust settled, the Edsel found itself in a precarious position. It was a car that had dared to dream, dared to be different, but in a market that craved familiarity, that valued the tried and tested, the Edsel was an outlier. It was a car that was ahead of its time, perhaps too far ahead. The Ford Edsel, once a dream, was now a reality. But not all realities are as they seem. Even the brightest stars sometimes fall. The Ford Edsel was no exception. In the case of the Ford Edsel, the downfall was a complex tapestry of factors. The most significant among them was economic mismanagement. Ford had invested a staggering $250 million into the development and marketing of the Edsel. Despite the high hopes and the colossal investment, the sales were far from satisfactory. This mismatch between the financial input and the returns was a crushing blow for Ford. The Edsel's misalignment with market demands was another nail in the coffin. The car was intended to fill a gap in the market between the low-priced and the high-priced models. However, the timing was unfortunate. The late 50s saw a shift in consumer preferences towards smaller, more economical cars. The Edsel, with its large size and high fuel consumption, was a misfit in this changing landscape. Moreover, the car's unique features, which were meant to set it apart, became its Achilles heel. The Edsel's self-adjusting brakes and push-button transmission were innovative, no doubt, but they were also unfamiliar and consumers found them confusing and unreliable. This perceived lack of reliability further impacted the Edsel's market standing. Additionally, the Edsel's design, which was initially praised for its uniqueness, turned out to be a double-edged sword. Its unconventional look was met with mixed responses. Some found it appealing, but many others found it off-putting. Negative public opinion, fueled by the car's unusual design, compounded the Edsel's problems. Lastly, Ford's marketing strategy for the Edsel was overly aggressive. The hype created unrealistic expectations that the car could not meet. When the product failed to live up to the hype, the disappointment was all the more profound. The Ford Edsel, once the symbol of ambition and innovation, was now a symbol of failure. But as we'll see in the next scene, even in its downfall, the Edsel left behind a legacy and lessons that would shape the future of the automotive industry. All stories must come to an end. So did the story of the Ford Edsel. After just 2 years of production and a staggering investment of $400 million, Ford announced the discontinuation of the Edsel in November of 1959. The reasons behind this decision were multifaceted. Fundamentally, the Edsel was a victim of a market that it didn't quite understand and a rapidly changing economic landscape that it couldn't keep up with. The Edsel was designed for a market segment that was rapidly shrinking. The US was in a recession and consumers were looking for smaller, more economical vehicles. The Edsel, with its distinctive look and host of high-tech features, was seen as too extravagant and too expensive. The public didn't respond to the Edsel as Ford had hoped, and sales were far below expectations. The discontinuation of the Edsel was a major setback for Ford. It was a financial disaster, resulting in losses of over $350 million. However, despite its failure, the Edsel left a lasting legacy in the automotive industry. The Edsel has become a symbol of corporate hubris, a stark reminder of what can happen when a company doesn't listen to its customers or understand their needs. But it wasn't all negative. The Edsel also left behind a legacy of innovation. Features such as self-adjusting brakes and the push-button teletouch transmission system were ahead of their time, and they laid the groundwork for many of the technologies we take for granted in cars today. Moreover, the story of the Edsel has served as a lesson for the automotive industry. It has influenced the way car companies approach market research, product development, and marketing. The Ford Edsel may have been discontinued, But its story was far from over. Despite its downfall, the Edsel's ambitious vision, its technological innovations, and the lessons it provided have secured its place in automotive history. The Edsel, in its own unique way, has continued to shape the industry long after its production lines fell silent. The Ford Edsel taught the world many lessons that are still relevant today. The Edsel is a testimony to the fact that even the most ambitious projects, backed by the grandest of visions, can still face unexpected hurdles. The story of the Edsel is a potent reminder for all industries, not just the automotive sector, to never underestimate the power of consumer perception. This grand venture taught us the importance of aligning economic management with product development. The Edsel's launch coincided with an economic recession, a timing that was far from ideal. It underscored the need for strategic timing in any product's life cycle. The Edsel's unique features, from its distinctive horse-collar grille to its self-adjusting brakes, were designed to set it apart. However, they ended up alienating some consumers who found them too different too soon. This underlines the importance of balancing innovation with consumer readiness. Yes, push the boundaries, but do so while keeping a pulse on what the market is ready to accept. The Edsel's pre-release hype, while generating excitement, also set high expectations. When the product did not meet these inflated expectations, it led to disappointment. This teaches us the dangers of overpromising and under-delivering, a lesson that is invaluable in any business. Lastly, the Ford Edsel story highlighted the importance of resilient leadership in the face of adversity. Even after the Edsel's discontinuation, Ford continued to innovate and grow, proving that failure is not the end, but a stepping stone to success. In conclusion, the tale of the Ford Edsel is a rich tapestry of lessons learned. Its legacy continues to shape the way products are designed, launched, and marketed. It stands as an enduring symbol of ambition, innovation, and resilience. What are your thoughts about the Ford Edsel? Share them in the comments below, and remember, every end is a new beginning.